Atheists of Reddit, what could change your mind? In him for 10 million euros. I accept cash, don't know if there's anything. If some god appeared, I'd still wonder if this was some hallucination and make an appointment with a psychologist. Quite literally nothing. I refuse to be associated with any religion or religious people. From experience, they are pretty much all hateful and intolerant, and I will be damned before I put myself or my children near that again. I don't want them living in fear that they are going to burn in a lake of fire for every little mistake or lie. Duck religion, nothing. There isn't a god. If there is, it's certainly not any of the ones humanity has made up over the past 2,000 years. None of the holy books of any of the Abrahamic religions are true, because we've proven the history of the earth and life on it through science. The logic is insane behind so many religious claims. Religion has been used to justify so many atrocities, and still does to this day. Not to mention, if a god existed, it would know what would convince me, along with every other atheist, and would show me to avoid this horrible sin of rejecting his existence. It's not arrived yet. The only thing we have is more and more proof that there isn't a god and never has been. Hey God, are you out there? If you show up right now in front of me, I'll believe in you. No? I didn't think so. If all the evangelical a-holes lost their fortunes, their homes, planes, and cars because they believe that God chose them to spread the word of the Lord, that would be a good start. Those people don't deserve their wealth, especially when they refuse to allow homeless people into their congregation and don't allow people escaping a natural disaster to stay in the mega churches for protection and survival. Screw those a-holes. All of them. If there is a God, if he or she could deal with the devils in disguise, that would help change my mind. Nothing. Look around at the world we are living in. Innocents gunned down in schools. Apathetic politicians who value money and power over the lives of children while simultaneously forcing unwanted children to be born. All while baby formula shelves are empty and have been for weeks. People can't afford homes, gas, cars, food. I won't even get into the COVID stuff. Why would a benevolent God allow any of this, much less all of it at the same time? Maybe God just gave up on America? Actual scientific evidence. And for priests to stop touching kids, dying and learning I was wrong all along. That being said, I do have my doubts sometimes, but never as many doubts as I had as a child trying to believe in God like I was taught, nor as a teenager researching different religions to find my answer. Most of my doubts only exist because I was raised to be religious, so it's just profoundly deep-rooted within me. It's simply integral to who I had tried to be for my religious great-grandmother growing up, and has remained a part of me since, regardless of being diminished. I simply have doubts because I truly do not know everything, and quite frankly, no one ever will until proven otherwise, which has tried to be proven from millions of perspectives, but nothing has yet made me truly believe in anything but the fact that we know nothing. It always led back to the inability to believe. It was not the unwillingness to believe. It was a genuine inability. I will also say, I do not personally believe any known atheist theory out there to explain our existence, besides a bit of evolution. Science has proved itself wrong thousands of times over, and will continue to do so for as long as humanity exists. Science is likely just as wrong now as we deem it to be when we look back hundreds of years and laugh at old beliefs, like flat earthers being common, for example. I genuinely don't think we are advanced enough to know where we came from, and I'm not sure we ever will have a certain answer as a species unless we learn otherwise through death, if we ever do. There is no telling from anything other than experience, truly. It's safe to say that I don't believe in anything except the fact that we know absolutely nothing, whatsoever. It's much less scientific for me, and much more realistic really. I respect anyone who thinks scientifically, just as much as I respect anyone who thinks religiously or spiritually. Everyone has the tendency to ask themselves why. It's human nature. I asked myself that for many years before deciding this. I do not need to know where we come from. I do not need to know where we go. I just need to live this life I have now, because that's the only thing anyone here truly knows. I have already changed my mind. It just took some really weird events in my life and the rationale that I can neither prove nor disprove such a thing, some minor backing in scientific theories and physics ideas, and separating the idea of a God being a person or a personality from being a principle of the universe like gravity or relativity. Sentient as it may be, you have to look at it like a complicated higher dimensional phenomenon, and I have. That's what changed my mind. I used to think, how can there be a God when so much funked up shit happens? But even scientists know that on a cosmic scale all that funked up shit is really small potatoes, even if it's people's lives being affected, so I just gotta say it's part of things, and if there's a God they're as fickle as gravity. And things could easily be a whole lot worse if I do say so myself. We do sort of live on a blessed little planet not to be incinerated in background radiation before we can evolve a nervous system. Just think, maybe we're not the only planet that's a little too perfect, a little blue paradise in an otherwise almost Lovecraftian universe, literally anything. I wish I could back to that blissfulness. The times of believing gave peace, and a prayer gave hope in times of desperation. I think it was around 2010 when I stumbled on Reddit and was inundated with bombardments from the atheism subreddit. It was what sent me this way. I ultimately think it was the right and inevitable path, but I wonder where life may have taken me without it.